At dawn in the early summer rains, mist blanketed the rugged northwest mountain range, turning the red earth, gravel-strewn paths into a world of gray haze. The Morgan Corporation's charity convoy, headed by Robert Morgan, the only son, shuddered along, dust coating the windshield. Robert sat in the passenger seat, eyes tracing the endless ridges below, excitement and curiosity rising in him at the thought of this remote mission. The vehicle finally stopped at a tiny, isolated hamlet, where a few straw huts leaned into the hillside. Barefoot children, curious and hopeful despite their poverty, ran out to greet them. Among the line of villagers, Lisa, a slender 18-year-old whose face bore both quiet sadness and bright determination, wove through the crowd. In her heart burned a single desire: I will pass university entrance exams and escape this place. Robert got out and watched her, clear eyes, shy smile as she accepted a gift packet from his assistant. That smile, the first thing to touch his jaded heart after so many glittering boardroom meetings, made him want to step forward, speak with her, rather than hurry back to the car. "What's your name?" Robert found himself asking as he stood behind her. Startled, Lisa looked up, then smiled gently. "I'm Lisa, Mr. Morgan." Hearing his name correctly pronounced made Robert's heart lift. He lifted his camera and snapped a few quick shots, partly duty, partly so he wouldn't forget her face. By midday, wind whipped across the mountaintop as villagers bustled to pack rice and instant noodles into sacks. Lisa's parents, long accustomed to valuing sons over daughters, stood quietly aside, their son favored with extra provisions while Lisa carried the heavier burden on her own. Undeterred, she swung the sack onto her shoulder, then pulled out a worn math workbook during the brief lunch break. Every difficult problem, she knew, might be the key to saving her family. Seeing her study in the dust, Robert stepped closer and asked softly, "You're very studious. May I take a look?" In that instant, two strangers began the story of their lives. Robert never guessed that his simple encouragement would fuel Lisa's resolve, she who once thought, "I have nothing but my eyes and my ambition," to press on with her studies. As the convoy left, he glanced back at her silhouette on the hill and vowed to remember her. And Lisa, tucking her workbook under her pillow, promised herself, "If I pass, I will be strong enough to stand alongside him, Robert Morgan." After the charity mission, Lisa returned to her dilapidated thatch roof house on the hillside. The creaking wooden walls sighed with every gust of wind. Her mother, gaunt from endless farm labor, called her in for a hasty meal of rice with boiled cassava. Her father, face lined with hardship, sighed as he listened to her speak of Mr. Morgan, the wealthy man who had come to their village. "How can you talk to people like that so confidently?" her mother mumbled, exhaustion in her voice. "He's kind, Mother. He..." Lisa trailed off, waving a hand. "Let's talk about that later. You need to focus on your university exams now." Determination sparkled in Lisa's eyes. That very night, by the flicker of an oil lamp, she opened the old exam workbook she'd bought at the district market. Math formulas, biology theories, English reading passages whirled in her mind. Whenever fatigue set in, she recalled Robert's warm smile, his caring gaze. "I must pass. I can't disappoint him," she whispered. Each day, Lisa trudged over 2 kilometers of rocky dirt road to attend the lone secondary school in her village. There, Teacher Nee, the only credentialed educator in the area, tutored her for free every afternoon, instilling in her the conviction that a poor mountain girl could indeed enter university. In the evenings, she tutored neighborhood children for 10,000 BND a session, enough to buy notebooks and practice exams. Her hands grew callous from hours of writing, but she never complained. When her mother urged her not to overwork, Lisa only smiled, "I'm fine, Mother. I need to go far." Back in the city, Robert thought of the girl in the mountains daily. He printed stationery bearing R. Morgan and wrote weekly letters. "Good luck on your exams. Take care of your health. Heavy rain tomorrow, be sure to bring a raincoat. If you need anything, let my assistant know." He enclosed pencils and a small notebook, "Use these for your practice exams." At first, Lisa read the letters in secret, then tucked them away. Over time, his thoughtful advice made her feel watched over, believed in. Many nights, she gazed at the starlit sky and murmured, "Robert, if I pass, I will come to thank you in person." In her village, the fate of girls still revolved around farm work and early marriage. Neighbors urged her parents to let her leave school and marry young. But her father, though hard-pressed, supported her. "Our son studies far away. Our daughter deserves the same chance." Grateful to her father, Lisa nonetheless knew that without her own effort, her dream would vanish. She pledged to complete at least 3 full exam papers daily, pinning motivational notes on the wall. 50 days left, keep going. On the eve of the exam, Lisa lay awake clutching her workbook, the sound of the stream outside lulling her thoughts. She recalled their first meeting, the rain, his smile, and vowed, "I will succeed. I will walk into university, and one day stand beside you, Robert Morgan." In the city, Robert stayed up late too, checking every detail of the care package he would send: a warm jacket for cold mountain mornings, an English practice book. He believed in Lisa's success. He believed in her. In September, the scent of tuberose and exhaust filled the air as the bus rolled to a stop at the City University of Economics. Lisa stepped out clutching a small suitcase, eyes wide at the imposing buildings, crowded dorms, and the throngs passing through the gates. Memories of her humble village felt like a distant dream. "You'll find dorm block B, room 203, a senior volunteer told her. "Thank you so much," she replied, relieved. Room 203 was barely 12 square meters, 2 bunk beds, and a few modest family photos pinned on the wall, her mother in a patched apron, her father dressed in farm clothes. Lisa set down her books, her heart sinking as she thought of tuition, living expenses, and textbooks. She refused to let her family sell more land or livestock to support her. That very afternoon, she signed up to tutor 2 children in a nearby boarding house, earning 15,000 VND per hour. By 6 a.m. each morning, Lisa was up preparing lessons. She then caught the bus to the center, where a cramped, damp room became her makeshift classroom. Carefully, she taught the alphabet, corrected her students' theta and /eth/ pronunciations. Afternoons were spent in lectures, evenings, library research, nights, more tutoring or small online sales to cover costs. Though exhausted, she drew strength from memories of the first autumn she saw mountain foliage and Robert's final letter: "Don't forget your smile, your strongest weapon." The dream of standing alongside him motivated her onward. One drizzly afternoon, the tutoring room silent under yellow lamplight, Lisa was folding notebooks when a gentle knock sounded. She opened the door to see Robert in his signature gray overcoat. Her heart raced. "Why are you here?" she stammered. He smiled warmly. "I wanted to make sure you're okay. My company just funded a scholarship for underprivileged students, and I recommended you." Lisa recoiled. "I can't accept special favors. I must be self-reliant." Robert took her hand, eyes steady. "You've worked tirelessly, and I'm proud of you. This is simply a well-deserved reward." Tears brimmed in Lisa's eyes as heavy rain drummed on the windows. 2 strangers who met in the mountains now stood together in the city's downpour. Though touched, Lisa held back her feelings. Whenever Robert invited her to lunch or study together, she politely declined. "Thanks, but I don't want to depend on you. I need to focus on this term." Robert never pressed the matter, yet every afternoon he watched her leave the classroom, concerned when she skipped meals or burned the midnight oil. At the end of the first semester, the university posted its list of top students. To everyone's surprise, Lisa was one of 2 business majors awarded a full board scholarship. That announcement on the school bulletin board stunned fellow students. The determined mountain girl had risen to the top. When she received her certificate, she spotted Robert clapping quietly in the quad, pride shining in his eyes. She couldn't help but smile broadly. Nearby classmates whispered, "She really did it." While Lisa immersed herself in studies and part-time work, Robert wrestled with family expectations. His parents, Morgan elders who had hoped he'd marry a woman of high social pedigree, worried their future daughter-in-law wouldn't fit the Morgan mold, despite her accomplishments. Many sleepless nights in the silent mansion, Robert thought, "She is the one I want to share my life with, no matter the obstacles." Every letter he sent to her mountain home carried that pledge. He was watching over her and ready to defend their shared dream. Autumn leaves carpeted the sidewalks around campus, students drifting between classes. For Lisa, each day was a new challenge. Mornings began with her timing her walk from the dorm to the lecture hall, nerves jangling as she navigated the sprawling building. Management writing, one of her core courses, forced her to stay after class for extra explanations, never daring to pause for rest. At night, in the silent dorm corridor, she lit her desk lamp, placed a small incense stick by the family altar, then buried herself in the thick green and red textbook she borrowed from the library. Organizational behavior, fundamentals of marketing, microeconomics, all dense and technical, yet she steeled herself, I will conquer this. On the second Friday of term, the faculty hosted Student Clubs Day. Lisa wandered past the booths for the English Club and the Startup Society. When she heard about a project to support hometown communities, her charity trip memories surged back. She signed up eagerly as a member. From then on, every Wednesday afternoon she joined planning sessions for free weekend English classes in remote areas. Alongside her private tutoring, she volunteered with the club, sharing resources and practicing group presentations. Those brainstorming sessions forged friendships and fueled her energy. Still, academic pressure mounted. Midterms in microeconomics were notoriously brutal. Top students gasped at the results posted online. Lisa hauled her books to the library, hired a senior tutor, drilled past papers, and used flashcard software to memorize terms, setting an alarm every half hour to stretch and refocus. One evening, her midterm score arrived, 6.8 out of 10, far below her expectations. Standing in the foyer, cold wind whipping her hair, she asked herself, did I try hard enough? Tears fell briefly before she returned to her desk, determined, this won't happen again. I must do twice as much. Amid her stress, Robert remained her quiet pillar. One afternoon, he slipped a hot coffee onto her library table and smiled. Drink this, you have a group discussion this evening. Startled, Lisa accepted the cup, grateful. Sometimes he sent reference books, other times, he arranged snacks for her late-night study sessions. Though age and status separated them, he only wished to see her succeed. By term's end, Lisa had completed every group project, presented her volunteer teaching plan with confidence, and improved her midterm mark to 8.5 out of 10, raising her GPA to 3.64. Proud tears welled in her parents back home. She recalled her first day at university, nervous, alone among strangers. Now, she had friends, meaningful roles, and above all, the poise to walk confidently into any lecture hall. Graduating with honors, Lisa landed an internship at Zenith Consulting's prestigious office in the city's financial district. The glass tower reflected the skyline as she eagerly sorted files for the green startup project. Reality, however, was less kind. Rigid procedures and looming deadlines forced her and a handful of interns to process huge datasets. At her first presentation, she overlooked a key figure: projected profit was underreported by 15%. The room fell silent when her manager discovered the error. Can you explain this? Her manager asked quietly. Lisa froze, cheeks burning. She bowed her head and admitted her mistake. That night in her cramped rental, she labored by desk lamp, rechecking every chart until her eyes stung. I can't fail now, she told herself. I must get this right. Noticing her strain, Robert arranged a meeting at a cozy cafe. As dusk fell and lantern light flickered, he placed a small envelope before her, an introduction letter from his longtime financial analysis partner. If you need help with data analysis, Mark, my analyst, will give you a private session. Consider it a deserved reward for your dedication. Tears welled in Lisa's eyes. He had gone beyond mere encouragement, he'd provided an opportunity. I don't want to impose, she murmured. I trust in your ability. This is just to make you stronger, he replied. With Mark's guidance, Lisa mastered advanced techniques, corrected her report, and submitted it before the deadline. 3 weeks later, Zenith held its mid-year review. Lisa was chosen to present sustainable market forecasting to the board. The night before, she rehearsed alone in the empty auditorium. This project not only yields profit but also protects the environment and enhances brand recognition. Under bright stage lights, she delivered a polished presentation, clear charts, confident delivery. The audience nodded in approval. When she finished, her manager smiled. You've grown tremendously. We'd like to offer you a full-time position. Lisa's heart soared. In just months, she transformed from the mountain girl puzzling over data to the assured speaker on a corporate stage. After the presentation, amidst the gleaming Zenith Plaza, Robert appeared with a bouquet of white orchids, symbols of patience and purity. "You did it. I've always believed in you," he said softly. She smiled through tears. "Thank you for always standing by me." He clasped her hand. "We are more than friends, we're partners." Bathed in the golden sunset through the glass facade, they knew challenges lay ahead, but together, with her resolve and his steadfast love, they could overcome anything. Having secured a full-time role at Zenith, Lisa accompanied Robert to introduce her to his parents at the Morgan estate. That evening, an 8-seat dining table gleamed under a grand chandelier. Robert squeezed her hand. "Tonight, I stand by you." Lisa nodded, heart pounding at the thought of confronting the family's mountain girl prejudice. Mr. Morgan sat at the head, impeccably dressed, eyes assessing his future daughter-in-law. Mrs. Morgan opposite him smiled politely yet coolly. "I hear your daughter was only a tutor. How can she match Robert's standing?" Lisa bowed slightly. "Ma'am, since coming to the city I've balanced study and work. I'm about to become a full-time consultant at an international firm. I believe my skills and work ethic will prove my worth." Mrs. Morgan whispered something to her husband, then pressed on. "We worry a busy woman from the mountains won't have time for family duties." Robert laid a hand on the table, voice gentle but firm. "Mother, Lisa has built herself up with determination. I love her for her sincerity, perseverance, and responsibility." Though Mr. Morgan's expression softened only slightly, the ice had begun to crack. Later, under the porch beside a trickling fountain, Mr. Morgan invited them for tea. He posed a simple finance question. "In a fund split 40% bonds, 60% stocks, how would you rebalance to 30 to 70 while maintaining overall risk?" Robert answered crisply, earning a nod. Then Mr. Morgan turned to Lisa. "And you, with your internship experience, can you support Robert on such investments?" Lisa steadied herself and replied, "Sir, while I'm not yet as seasoned, I handle financial data analysis, forecasting market fluctuations, measuring risk, and preparing comparative performance reports. Moreover, I'm constantly learning to meet both Robert's and your expectations." Mr. Morgan regarded her with newfound respect, impressed, yet still cautious. The next morning, Lisa received an email. "We are pleased to offer you a position on the Morgan Capital Analysis team." Robert wept with joy when he told her. It was more than personal success, it was her triumph before his family. At the estate study, Mr. Morgan greeted them. "You've proven yourself. You are welcome in our family." Mrs. Morgan, reserved but smiling, gave her blessing. Lisa realized she had passed the toughest test. Worth is not defined by origin but by effort and heart. Under the moonlit lily garden behind the mansion, Robert held Lisa close. "I'm proud of you. We've conquered the greatest challenge." She rested against him, whispering, "Thank you for always believing in me." Moonlight cast a silver glow on them, a promise that no force could separate two hearts so determined to journey together. A year after joining Morgan Capital's London headquarters, Lisa had risen to senior project analyst. The Bishopsgate office tower reflected the bustling city below. No longer a struggling student, she led strategic discussions with European partners. When Morgan Capital launched its Green Horizons Fund for renewable energy in Eastern Europe, leadership appointed Lisa as analysis team lead. She traveled to Warsaw to inspect wind farms and solar arrays. In freezing conditions, she persuaded local authorities and a German consortium to co-invest, combining social impact with profitability. Her detailed ROI analysis, enriched by environmental impact metrics, won unanimous approval. At the Geneva summit, Lisa addressed over 200 finance and environmental experts. Her slides flowed seamlessly, her insights fused deep knowledge with a passion for sustainability. A sustained standing ovation followed. Morgan Capital's board doubled the project's funding, an unprecedented move for a 25-year-old lead. News of her success traveled back to the Morgan estate. For the first time, Mr. and Mrs. Morgan praised Lisa as an international caliber future daughter-in-law. At an elegant afternoon tea, Mrs. Morgan said softly, "You've shown that origin matters less than vision and ability." Mr. Morgan squeezed Lisa's hand in pride. "You're not only a Morgan Capital member, but a pioneer for our firm's future." Tears of gratitude filled Lisa's eyes as she realized her worth was fully recognized. Beyond her technical role, Lisa launched a Women in Finance workshop series, inviting female leaders from Asia, Europe, and North America to share insights. Within 6 months, the percentage of women project managers at Morgan Capital rose from 12% to 27%, making the firm a benchmark for gender diversity, a legacy she cherished. On the sidelines of a Paris conference, Robert surprised her with a limited edition watch, symbolic of their 3-year journey since meeting in the Misty Mountains. Holding her hand, he said, "You've made our dream real. I'm so proud of you." Tears glistened in her eyes. "And you've always been my rock." Under the shimmering lights by the Seine, they looked to the future, new projects, a warm home, and a life built together. After her triumph with Green Horizons and the Women in Finance series, Lisa's reputation compelled Morgan Capital and the Morgan clan to reassess their views. One Sunday morning at the estate, Robert organized a family day celebration to introduce her to extended kin and close friends. The expansive garden glowed with fresh flowers and candles. A long table under the glass veranda held an elegant feast. Mr. and Mrs. Morgan, now proud hosts, welcomed guests in shimmering suits and gowns. Robert took the microphone and addressed the gathering. "Today, I'm honored to introduce the woman who stood by me through every trial, built her career, and inspired us all. Please welcome Lisa Morgan." Thunderous applause erupted. All eyes turned to Lisa, the former village girl who once studied by lamplight, now radiant in confidence. In the hush that followed, Lisa stepped to the podium. "Ladies and gentlemen, I am deeply grateful for your love and support. Once, I was just a poor mountain girl with a dream to study and one day stand beside the man I love. Thanks to Robert's unwavering faith and your acceptance, I stand here today. I hope to become a full member of the Morgan family and share both joys and challenges with you all." Tears glistened in the audience. Mrs. Morgan hurriedly wiped her eyes and embraced Lisa. "My dear, we are so happy you are truly one of us." Shortly after, Robert and Lisa arranged a trip back to Lisa's village so her parents could meet their wealthy son-in-law and to thank the villagers who raised her. Their sleek cars rolled up to the humble huts and dusty roads. Lisa's parents, stepping into a fine automobile for the first time, looked bewildered but joyful. Her father clasped her hand tightly. "You did it, my youngest." Robert personally greeted each villager, announced new scholarships for local children, and pledged to help build the new school. The villagers beamed not only with pride but also with hope for lasting change. A simple celebration in Lisa's thatch roof house followed, smoky midday kitchen fires, a feast of wild greens, roasted chicken, and rich bamboo shoot soup. Even the proud Morgans laughed and ate shoulder to shoulder with village elders. Mr. Morgan sampled the chicken and nodded approvingly. "This mountain chicken is delicious. Our Morgan daughter truly knows how to enjoy life." Mrs. Morgan whispered to Lisa, "Wherever you go, our family is with you." That evening, under a single lantern, the two families, one urban, one rural, found unity and laughter, sealing a love that had conquered every barrier. Morning sunlight bathed the lush gardens of the Morgan estate, where a pristine white arch stood amid emerald lawns. Over 200 guests, family, friends, international partners, filled the space. Roses, orchids, and baby's breath garlands framed a crystal backdrop for the wedding vows to come. On the eve, Lisa flitted among the bridal suite, a lace gown embroidered with orchid motifs, her favorite flower, paired with delicate pearls. She collaborated with the wedding team to blend Western ceremony with Northwest Vietnamese traditions, a string quartet interlaced with local folk tunes, fine cuisine alongside native specialties like sticky rice tubes, honey-glazed mountain chicken, and fresh fruit mochi. Robert, in a classic black tuxedo, waited by the arch. His eyes shone with joy, a diamond ring glinting in his hand, symbol of their enduring journey. When prelude music filled the air, all heads turned as Lisa emerged, arm in arm with her father. He brushed away tears as they walked down the petal-strewn aisle. Standing beside Robert, both families approached to offer blessings. Mr. Morgan, first, took Lisa's hand. "You have become a worthy Morgan bride." He then handed Robert the wedding band. "Cherish and protect this happiness." Vows followed. Robert spoke warmly. "Lisa, you changed me, showing that love and perseverance can overcome any barrier. I vow to stand by you, share your joys, and build our home together, come what may. Tears in her eyes, Lisa placed the ring on his finger. Robert, you gave me faith and the courage to be myself. I promise to nurture our love with sincerity, respect, and the same smile you fell for. At Robert's declaration, I now pronounce you husband and wife. Applause and fireworks lit the sky. Laughter and music filled the air as a live band performed a string-arranged rendition of the folk song Lee Ki Thang, delighting guests. Lisa and her mother-in-law danced to Stand By Me, the song that marked their first encounter. Midway through, Robert surprised everyone with a video montage of their journey, their mountain meeting, heartfelt letters, her late-night studies, milestone presentations, and family ceremonies, ending with his first kiss to her in the rain. The hall wept and cheered in unison. The next day, the newlyweds departed for their honeymoon in Santorini, Greece, the site of their first joint international trip. Walking hand in hand among whitewashed Cycladic houses overlooking the blue Aegean, they vowed to explore the world together and share their fortune with others. 6 months later, at the launch of the Morgan Lisa Highland Education Fund in Hanoi, Lisa addressed the audience. Robert and I come from two very different places, yet share one dream, to give mountain children access to education. We hope each scholarship opens a door to a future they never dared to imagine. Robert stood backstage, holding her hand, pride shining in his eyes. The golden sunset bathed them in light, proof of a love that endures and a life brimming with hope. After their splendid wedding, Robert and Lisa decided to begin their home in a small house on the outskirts of London, complete with a green garden just big enough for little feet to run about. Under the porch they hung a swing, Robert's birthday gift to Lisa commemorating their first meeting in the Misty Mountains. A year later, they welcomed their first child, a daughter named Aurora, meaning dawn, a reminder that their love was the light that broke through all storms. Lisa temporarily shifted from project lead to vice president of the Morgan Lisa Foundation for Highland Education, managing operations from both the Hanoi office and via Zoom with the London team. Robert remained at her side, caring for wife and child while providing the steadfast support that let Lisa pursue both career and family. Every summer, the little family returned to Lisa's mountain village. She carried her baby through the rice terraces, pointing out each grove and stream that shaped her childhood. Villagers rejoiced to see their daughter, now an international executive, come home, her heart forever tied to their homeland's struggles. Their happiness extended far beyond their private life, touching the wider community. The foundation awarded hundreds of scholarships each year to impoverished students. They built schools, repaired roads, and installed solar lighting for dozens of villages. In every speech, Lisa emphasized, personal success is only complete when we share it, when our light reaches those still in the dark. Thus, under both European and Asian skies, amid bustling city life or the quiet mountain slopes, Robert and Lisa's love remained as fresh as ever, grounded in mutual support, generosity, and a steadfast commitment to build a brighter future for the generations to come.